Hey everyone, it's Stiles. Hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are. I wanted to have a chat and a bit of an easygoing practice today to have a conversation really all about softness and ease. So if you practice yoga with me or any Strala guide or any of our videos, you've probably noticed a theme of softening, moving with ease, moving with grace and coordination. And I just wanted to share a little bit of how that works with our whole self, really the reason for that, the practice of that, and how to kind of get more involved in having more ease in everything you do. So I know for myself, really practicing yoga has always been about feeling better in my body, feeling better in my life so I can do better things. I come from a classical and contemporary dance background, so I was really lucky I got into yoga while I was studying dance. And I think because I was a dancer and already so physical in my body, yoga wasn't a practice of trying to be extreme with the poses or shapes. I also had really great teachers as well, and was really taught that yoga is this practice of self-discovery, really coming inside and being with yourself. So although we were moving through physical movements, the emphasis was always on moving in a way that was kind to yourself without any, this was a long time ago in the 90s, without any buzzwords of feeling good and gentle and all these things. The teachers that I had were simply leading the instructions, leading the movements, and we were left alone to have the experience, which I thought was completely amazing. Kind of fast forward to the last, 10, 20 years of yoga, and a lot of at least Western and, of course, we export all of our ideas, good or bad, everywhere around the world. A lot of yoga has been sort of masked in the spirituality of yoga, but really been focused on external poses. How many feet can I get behind my head? How far can I tuck myself under myself? And saying that, the discipline of doing extremely, quite honestly, damaging things to your body that cause hip replacements, knee problems, back pain, have been really lied to us that they're more spiritual and provide this path to, enlightenment in a way. And, of course, we somehow get locked onto these ideas because they're extreme, and, something about us likes extremity. Something about us is really gravitates toward, something fantastical, without realizing that the fantastical, amazing things are the experience within. So the practice that I've always loved and shared and spread as far as I could, and now with the help of thousands of Strala guides around the world, and Mike and Sam and our team, it's not just the people practicing Strala yoga, but this idea of ease and softness has really caught on, at least in the language of a lot of the modern yoga. I just led a class here at the studio this weekend, and I was talking with Mike this morning about how to do a better job myself in getting people to relax and be easy and soften, when so much of what even people have been taught and reinforced within their own yoga practice, which is a healing practice, to be rigid, to be externally focused, to kind of get into the pose and then fidget and fix and pull up the pants and try to make the exterior movement as extreme as possible. And somewhere along the line, contortionism became synonymous with spirituality. And if you think that that is off, if you feel like that is off, go with that feeling, because it doesn't really make much sense. A lot of these movements in a lot of yoga forms, where you're putting 1 foot or 2 feet behind your head, where you're jumping forward and back a bunch of times, hurting your wrists, hurting your hips, hurting your knees, really torquing your body in these ways to get into physical shapes. The physical shape is not the goal, and these contortionist shapes, I hope will soon and leave and sort of move along and sort of rid themselves, and at least our healing practices. A lot of people still, even though it's 2018 18 are intimidated by yoga because they see pictures of people with, their feet behind their head in extreme poses. And the messaging says, yoga is not about the goal of the pose, but here's what happens if you practice a lot. So with Strala and with everything that I believe is really valuable with yoga, sharing the goal of feeling good and a process of getting to know how your body moves in the healthiest way possible, in the easiest way possible, and taking the wisdoms of the East Asian art forms and combining with the yoga forms are such a great way to reduce stress, to build grace and coordination in your body and in your mind and in your whole self. So there's been a pretty obvious disconnect between yoga and health in the last, several decades. And it can only get worse or it can only get better. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that if you're wondering kind of where these practices come from, in a way that's really the idea behind that is really marrying this philosophy of you can come to agreement with yourself by practicing moving in agreement with yourself and really letting go of positions that are harmful, not great for your body, and shouldn't really be a goal at all anyway. Unraveling knees by, going for hyper splits, putting feet everywhere, really working to get into another variation of a position instead of really learning how to move in your own body. And again, this is nothing really new or made up, but it probably is new in a lot of modern yoga classes. So I think I was fortunate growing up in yoga in this way with very simple, easygoing instructors that had no agenda, but to help people feel more connected and relaxed. And then when I kind of got into the places that did yoga and started to see this movement toward external shape is the goal, feet behind the head is the goal, over splits is the goal, and then also saying, hey, don't worry about it if you can't do it, but here it is anyway. It really is unhealthy to do these things, as we all know, but sometimes we do things that aren't healthy anyway, just for fun. But I think it's time to acknowledge that extreme contortionism is not a health practice. It's not a healing practice for the body, for the mind. It doesn't really do anything good for your life, except maybe give you this sense of accomplishment. Yay, I did something really challenging that was actually bad for myself in the process. Doesn't lead to anything much better than that. So with all that, just feel free to leave any comment you like if you want to join this conversation, join the people that are interested in moving with ease, spreading softness, and moving with grace and coordination. So leave a comment and you can kind of get involved with everybody going in this direction. Okay, so I wanted to lead a short practice just to see how that feels. All right, so start sitting here, however you can be comfortable. And in a lot of yoga, you might be guided to just be really still and then to sense something happening from that stillness, happening from the outside in. So instead of finding that from the outside in, let yourself sway a bit here. Easy side to side, around and round. Being movable. And then let that sway start to resolve itself. So you're finding a still place from the inside this way. Letting the breath move you. Letting yourself be soft enough so you can be moved by your breath. And take a big inhale through your nose. Easy exhale. Again, big inhale. Easy exhale. One more time, big inhale. Easy exhale. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. All right, so that was one really simple practice. And you can do that many different ways. You can take yourself through that really thinking you need to be still and be in a meditative place, let your breath come, but also feel rigid and tense and have your mind be wandering to and from and pulled around like a washing machine. But if you soften and allow yourself to have a gentle sway, just like nature, if the wind comes, the trees are movable and they find their nice balance from the inside out there, then a real sense of stillness and calm can arise from the inside out. So that's really what we're going for, a sense rising from the inside out instead of a shape coming from the outside in. So it's completely different approach in that way. But again, East Asian arts, calligraphy, Tai Chi, all of these things, it exists, nature. Okay, one more thing I wanted to do with you guys. Finding the easiest way to move through things. And just as simple coming onto all fours on your hands and knees. So there's this nice idea of conservation, and we're all, trying to be more green in our lives, not using the plastic straws, having reusable cups, all these things. But when it comes to how we move in our bodies, we do things so often in the hardest way possible because we think we're going to get more this way. But it never works. We have this fake sense that we're doing more because we're working harder, but we're really blocking our own potential. And you can just choose to believe me on that, or you can choose to read the science and the studies on that as well. We have a lot of those links on stralayoga.com. Or even better, you can practice and discover for yourself what works and what doesn't work. So come on to all fours here with me if you like. And just really start to roll a little side to side. And roll so far over to one side that an opposite hand just picks up off the ground and then rejoins the ground. So often what happens when we do this in workshops here in groups, people start to roll to a side and then do this kind of a thing. And I know this is really simple, everybody kind of following along. I know it's not going to take a lot of effort to roll to a side, and you may think, okay, this is silly. Why am I doing this? I'm not exhausting myself. I'm not, giving up my resources here. But it all starts with the simple movements here. So if you roll and open, your hand just comes off the ground and then it rejoins. So if you take this idea into moving from the center of your body all the way out, and then dropping any effort that you don't actually need to do anything that you're doing at that particular point in time, whether it's yoga or anything else, then you have enough energy and enough resources to do more. So logically, of course, it makes sense, but we're programmed to work as hard as possible all the time because that's what we've been taught. All right. So another way to practice this here, tuck your toes, take a big inhale to lift up and back toward your down dog and settling it. And then tuck your chin, roll out toward a plank pose here, a nice wave. And we'll just hang out in a plank pose for a little while. So there's a few ways you can hang out in a plank pose. One is kind of just to double down, drill a hole into the ground with your eyes, kind of really engage everything, double engage everything, bring the back of your thighs up, your tummy in, your tailbone down, all of that stuff. Or you can just let yourself alone and breathe in a plank pose, which is what we're suggesting. Why do all those other things when you're already doing those things? So if you choose to bring yourself into a position and then flex everything in your whole body, you're doing a lot more that you need to do in order to stay here. And you will get plenty fit, plenty strong, a lot fitter, a lot stronger if you learn to move in a way that is using only what you need to stay in the position than double doing everything. You're going to burn out that way and not be able to do as much. You're just going to have this kind of fake sense that you did a lot, of fake sense that you worked out, and fake sense that things happened, but you just really wore yourself out. So that's that. So again, if you're playing along with me here, there's a sense of softening here. So easing your knees and elbows. Gentle sway side to side, around and round. And letting that sway resolve itself, finding an easy place. And again, staying here is a lot simpler than and waiting for it to be over. All right, we'll roll for a little side plank here. So rolling a little side to side. Again, the same idea, rolling so much that the hand just picks up, not keeping the hand flexed as it's off the ground, but just simply relaxing. Again, doing the least amount that you need to do, only what you need to do to be accomplishing what you're working on right there. And roll onto one side. Big inhale, roll your belly open, and then let everything else fall. And back to the middle. Same thing, other side. Roll your belly open, let everything else fall. One more time each side here. Roll your belly open, let everything else follow. And back to the middle. Roll your belly open, let everything else follow. You know, we all know the alternative. It's open, here, 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 but why? It doesn't make any sense at all. Only to appear like you have some sort of strange, awkward control over your body that doesn't make any sense. Trust me, it doesn't work. Or just experience it and you can find out for yourself. All right, lift your hips up and back toward your down dog. So we'll step a foot forward, but first lean toward the opposite side as you bring the foot forward. Hey, that changes everything right there. So again, finding the ways to best move your body is a great goal. Finding the best way to sensitize in your body is a great goal. And then one more thing here, start to crawl yourself all the way forward into a warrior three. And we'll roll up to stand here. So soften, use your whole body to roll all the way up to stand. And we'll go for a dancer here. Drop this knee, catch your foot. Before anything happens, soften again. Oh, relax. All right, from that softening place, press your foot in toward your hand. Nice gaze. And ease out of this one. Hug the shin back in for a squeeze. And slide the foot right back in. Lean toward the other side. Step the foot all the way back. So same thing, other side. Lean toward that side as you slide your foot forward. Ease your knee down. You want to come back for a runner's stretch, go for that. And start to play with this idea of opposites, back to go forward. Crawling all the way in toward that warrior three. Rounding from your middle all the way up to stand. Easing the standing leg. Another thing we get kind of stuck on is balancing. Everything goes super stiff. Straight leg, balance. Hold the breath. Try softening. Check out the trees. You're still strong and stable, but a little bend in that knee. Movable. And relax. So before we do anything, relax. Every exhale is softening. Every inhale, something's happening. Every exhale, softening a bit more. So the breath is lifting, your body's following. Exhale, soften, relax. One more time. And soften, relax. That way your breath is doing the work for you and your body's going along for the ride of that. And just ease on down and relax. So I hope that was interesting or fun, and hope you feel good. If you're interested in exploring more ease and softness, stick with us or any of the Strala guides, or come and visit us in an in-person event or training, or you can check out any of our videos at the link below. We have online trainings as well. But most important, soften, breathe, move from the middle, and I hope you have a nice internal journey coming back to yourself. I'll see you soon.